At school, lunch is provided to you, and some brings their own lunch. Even though some students doesn't like the lunch, they decided to bring snacks. My question is, should students be allowed to snack in class? Hi, my name is Eric, and the answer to that is no. Students should not be allowed to snack in class. Today, I'll provide 3 reasons why students should not be allowed to snack in class. My first reason why students should not be allowed to snack in class is because it can cause a huge distraction. For example, if you're in the middle of class and the teacher is speaking or teaching, someone can pull out a bag of chips and people will start trading. This can cause a whole chain reaction and everybody start trading their chips and not paying attention to what the teacher is saying. My second reason why can be a total waste of time. Teachers can create this thing called like a snack time where students eat snacks. But even though it's a good idea, it can waste a lot of time. For example, students barely have time to study for their tests and they are always stressed. Taking away 10 or 20 minutes in snack time can be a very bad idea. My last reason why students should not be allowed to snack in class is that students can cause a huge mess. I think this is the most important because having cockroaches, ants, and other bugs crawling around on the floor is also a distraction because class will be ended early just so the teacher could release the bug or kill them. Students like me are afraid of cockroaches. So then students will start screaming and other students will follow that too. In conclusion, I think that students should not be allowed to snack in class because it can cause a huge mess, it can be a total waste of time, and it can cause a huge distraction. What do you think? Thank you for listening to my speech.
Should students be able to eat freely in classrooms? Hi, my name is Claire, and I think that students should not be able to eat freely in classrooms. My first reason why is because it can be a distraction for themselves and others around them. My second reason why is because it can make a mess. My last reason why is because there is a lunch period provided for themselves. My first reason why students should not be able to eat freely in class is because it can be a distraction. For example, if a student was eating during class while a teacher was explaining a lesson, they could focus on their food more than the teacher. This could affect the student's grades when they don't pay much attention during class. Furthermore, it could also affect others around them. How? Well, since they're eating, it creates distracting and unnecessary sounds. They're not only affecting themselves, but others around them. My second reason why is because it can make a mess in the classroom. If a student doesn't clean up after themselves, it can create extra problems, such as attracting insects because there's food on the ground. My last reason why is because there's a lunch period provided for themselves and their peers. Why would students want to interfere with their learning time by eating in class? If they're eating in class, why would schools want to schedule a period of time for learning and eating? In conclusion, I think students should not be able to eat freely in classrooms is because it can be a distraction, it can make a mess, and there is a lunch period provided for themselves and their peers. Do you think students should be able to eat freely in class? Thank you for listening to my speech.
Hi, my name is Alan. Today I will talk about why I think students should not eat in class. First, students can get an unexpected allergic reaction. Second, it can cause a big mess. Last of all, it can distract students from learning. First, it can cause an unexpected allergic reaction. This is because if someone brings in, for example, a bag of cookies, it may contain nuts. And someone may want to try it, but they don't know they're allergic to it. This shows how it can be dangerous for other students. These are the reasons for why it can cause an unexpected allergic reaction. Second, it can cause a big mess. This is because a student may be a messy eater and leave a lot of crumbs. It can make their learning materials hard to use and dirty. It can also also disturb other people because other people may not want to be in he or her space when it's dirty. These are the reasons to why it can cause a big mess. Third, it can distract students from learning. This is because they may be very distracted from eating. Plus, students may not listen to teachers because of how carried away they are to eating. This also shows how it can affect students' grades in school because they are not listening to their teachers and learning. These are the reasons to why it can distract students from learning. In conclusion, I think students should not eat in class because, first, students can get an unexpected allergic reaction. Second, it can cause a big mess. Third, last of all, it can distract students from learning. These are the reasons to why I think students should not eat in class. Thank you for listening to my speech.
Should students be able to eat in class? Although there are some good reasons why students should eat in class, I believe the opposite. Hi, my name is Amy, and I believe that students shouldn't be able to eat in class because they could leave crumbs, it will cause a distraction, and because it will make them think they can do whatever they want. The first reason why I think students shouldn't be able to eat in class is because they could leave crumbs. How should we expect students to clean up after themselves when they can never properly throw out the lunch or even keep the hallways clean? If we allow them to eat in class, they will leave crumbs everywhere, which will create or worsen the bug problem in the school. However, if we didn't allow them to eat in class, then the school will be in as big of a mess. The second reason why I think students shouldn't be able to eat in class is because it will cause a distraction. If someone is eating something loud, such as chips, then it will be harder for students to concentrate. In addition, if someone doesn't have any snack and wants some snacks, then they might ask someone nearby, and if other people notice, then it will cause a chain reaction, which would put everyone off task. Finally, the last reason why I think students shouldn't be able to eat in class is because it will make them think they can do whatever they want. If teachers ignore students eating in class, then they might think they can do more extreme stuff. Some examples might be sleeping in class, playing games, or even skipping class entirely. However, if we didn't allow them to eat in class, then they won't think they can do those stuff and will be more responsible. In conclusion, those are the reasons why I think students shouldn't be able to eat in class. I believe so because they could leave crumbs, they could cause distractions, and because it will make them think they can do whatever they want. What do you think? Thank you for listening to my speech.
Should students be allowed to eat in class? I think students shouldn't. Hi, my name is Lily, and today I'm going to be talking about why students shouldn't be allowed to eat in class. First, it's because it's a distraction to other students. Second, it's because it was your responsibility to eat before class started. And finally, it's because students usually bring unhealthy snacks to school. First, it's because it's usually a distraction to other students. For example, if a student brings chips to school and started eating it in class, then other students might want it too. And this unnecessary noise from the chips will distract other students too. And secondly, it's because it was your responsibility to eat before class started. For example, you could have ate at home if you didn't like the school lunch, or you could have ate in school for breakfast. And finally, they usually bring unhealthy snacks. For example, some students bring gummies or chips or candy, and that usually leads to students acting hyper throughout classes or during classes. For example, talking without raising their hands, and that can cause a mess in the class and waste time. In conclusion, I think students shouldn't be able to eat in class because first, it's usually a distraction to other students, and secondly, It was your responsibility to eat before class started. And finally, they usually bring unhealthy snacks to school, which leads to unhealthy and necessary things. Thank you for listening to my speech.
Should students be allowed to eat freely in class? Hi, my name is Fiona. Today I'll tell you whether I think students should be allowed to freely eat in class. I think students should not be allowed to freely eat in class because it could show disrespect towards the teacher, it could damage the classroom's clean environment, and it could also distract people. I think the first reason why I think students should not be allowed to eat in class is because it could show disrespect towards the teacher. It could show disrespect towards the teacher because the teacher could think that the students would rather eat in class instead of pay attention towards the teacher. Making the teacher think that could make the teacher want to quit or either make the teacher self-conscious about rather they would be suitable for teaching. The second reason why I think students should not be allowed to freely eat in class is because it could damage the classroom's clean environment. Eating in class could damage the classroom's clean environment because students could eat and make messes but not bother to clean it up. Messy classrooms could bother students' learning and interfere with their grades. Messes could also attract many unwanted bugs into the classroom, which could make the students uncomfortable. The last reason why I think students should not be allowed to eat in class is because it could also distract people. Eating in class could distract people because of the wrapper noises, and when someone has a fruit they want and they would ask the person for food, which could also make a disruption in the class. It could also make students distracted, so their grades would decrease and the teacher would most likely get in trouble for it. In conclusion, I think students should not be allowed to freely eat in class because it could show disrespect towards the teacher, it could damage the classroom's clean environment, and it could also distract people. Thank you for listening to my speech.
Do you think students should be able to eat in class? If you think so, why? Hello, my name is Eason, and today I'll be telling you all my reasons why students shouldn't be able to eat in class. One reason why students shouldn't be able to eat in class is because it makes the classroom unsanitary for people who want to learn. My second reason why students shouldn't be able to eat in class is because it could cause allergic reactions. My third and last reason why students shouldn't be able to eat in class is because it could distract people. One reason why students shouldn't be able to eat in class is because it makes the classroom unsanitary for people who want to learn. It could make the classroom dirty when students drop crumbs and leave it on the floor. This could cause stains around the classroom. The stains would make it unsanitary for people who want to learn and overall could affect how the classroom looks and smells. This reason shows why I think students shouldn't be able to eat in class. My second reason why students shouldn't be able to eat in class is because it could cause allergic reactions. It could cause allergic reactions when that specific person is eating peanuts, dairy, and etc. The people surrounding that person can be allergic and it will cause them to be in danger, or they could even end up in the hospital. This could also affect. This reason shows why I think students shouldn't be able to eat in class. My last reason why students shouldn't be able to eat in class is because it could distract people. When chewing, it could annoy people from learning. It could also distract people by diverting their attention to just food. This could cause them, this affects their learning environment and could get them bad grades overall. This reason shows why I think students shouldn't be able to eat in class. After all, students shouldn't be able to eat in class. One reason why students shouldn't be able to eat in class is because it makes the classroom unsanitary for people who want to learn. My second reason why students shouldn't be able to eat in class is because it could cause allergic reactions. Lastly, students shouldn't be able to eat in class is because it could distract other people. For these, students shouldn't be able to eat in class. Thank you for listening to my speech.
Many people wonder if students can eat in class. Hi, my name is Carol Zhang and I'll tell you my opinion. I think that students cannot eat in class. One reason why I think this way is that it could distract other people from doing the work. Another reason why is that it can make a big mess. My final reason why is that students with allergies can get sick. That is why I think this way. One reason why I think this way is because students can get distracted. For example, some students eat their snacks very loudly. This can cause other students to be distracted from doing their work. Another example is that students will ask other students for more snacks. This can also annoy other students from doing the work. That is why I think this way. Another reason why is that they can make a big mess. For example, when students eat, they unknowingly drop crumbs onto the floor. These crumbs can attract different kinds of insects and even mice. Another example is that students can spill drinks. This can make an even bigger mess. That is why I think this way. My final reason why is that students with allergies can get sick. For example, when students exchange snacks, they unknowingly pass snacks other students are allergic to. This could cause the student to get an allergic reaction. Another example is that allergic reactions are painful. Some effects are wheezing, itching, and hives. That is why I think students cannot eat in class. In conclusion, I think that students cannot eat in class. One reason why is that it can distract other students from doing the work. My second reason why is that it can make a big mess. My final reason why is that students with allergies can get sick. That is why I think students cannot eat in class. Thank you for listening to my speech.
Hi, my name is Jin-Hu, and today I'll be talking about should students be allowed to eat freely in the classrooms? I think they should not. First reason why students should not be allowed to eat in class is because the class might get a lot of mouse in there, and if they keep doing like that, the whole school might get mouse in. And the school also have to pay a lot of money to make someone to come and take them outside. And that's the first reason why I think students should not be allowed to eat in the classroom. Last reason is why I think students should not be allowed to eat in classroom is because it will affect the students' study for the test. If they can't study, they might get a bad grade on their test, and their parents might get very mad on them. It's not only affect the students, it might also affect the teacher to teach the class. And that's all I think. Students should not be allowed to eat in class. Conclusion. I think students should not be eating in class because the mouse might get in and it will take a long time to get the mouse out, and it will affect the student and teacher to study or teach the class. Thank you for listening to my speech.